America means that you have to work twice as hard to get the same thing as the next man. It's a constant battle, always having to put in more work than your peers because you know that you're always going to be at a disadvantage just because of your skin tone.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Real Talk 2.0 Monday edition, right here on Red Media Radio, as well as YouTube, the podcast. I'm going to tell you something. This is like some real serious discussion right here. And of course, I had to go out and interview people to see what and how they felt about it. Tonight's discussion is being black in America. I know, powerful, right? It's like a big bomb. Yeah, you know what? I don't care what people say as far as how far we've come along in race relations, as being respected as black people in this country. Because, for real, we have added so much to this country as far as culture, food at the bare minimum, athletics, sports. It's like, movies, everything. We've made this country a better place, but yet and still we find ourselves in this crazy situation 9 times out of 10. I mean, how do you feel about it?
Shoot. How do I feel about it? Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't even know how. I don't want to take the whole show,
No, I mean, if you gotta do it, you gotta do it.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, I think that being black in America it shouldn't be, but it feels like a huge slap in the face. Because
it does.
I've said it plenty of times, we get it from every end. We get it from every other non-black person, and then we give it to each other. Yeah.
And let me tell you something. This is not about race. This is not well, in a sense it is. But it's not about, being prejudiced or basically saying that people that are not black or brown are basically, evil people. It's just that we find that there's just so many hurdles to jump over. If you're looking for a job, you know what? They put all these things in place. They say, okay, you've got to have this. You've got to be a high school graduate or have a college degree. You've got to have this much years experience. You've got to, know this person, know that person. But the important thing, a lot of times, and people that have been in the job market know this, if you're black, anything will throw you out of the league, especially if it's a Fortune 500 company. They've made it, the government has tried to make it a little bit easier with that affirmative hiring action thing. But at the end of the day, why do you have to give a company tax credit to hire the person that can do the job? Because if I'm qualified to do the job, if I have the credentials that you're asking for, to hear that, we gave it to Johnny, he's right now just starting school. He's also, Tim's younger nephew. And we think that it's better that he gets his career up and running. Well, what does that have to do with me? I gave you everything that you needed, and Johnny or Timmy doesn't have these qualifications yet. So what's the problem?
Black. Being black, that's the problem.
And people, they try to sweep this under the rug, but anybody that has been pulled over in a traffic stop and you see a white officer, your heart just goes into palpitations. Like, how is this going to turn out? I've been called smart asses. All I'm doing is saying, officer, what's the problem? Oh, you're a smart ass. The whole idea is to just get you to get to a level where now I have a permission, or I have the permission to pull out my gun, billy club, taser, mace, whatever, and use it against you, because now, me being a sworn police officer, now I feel that my life is in danger. Really?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Is that it? You've got all of these things that I just outlined, and usually a pump shotgun on the roof, on the ceiling of your car. What are you scared of? What are you scared of? You ever watch a movie and say, yeah, that couldn't happen to me? I've watched movies where people have gone into mall shopping centers, stolen a car, and driven 3 states over on the lam, on the run.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make it off the corner. I wouldn't make it inside the shopping mall parking lot to actually take the time to steal a car. You know, because all eyes are going to be on me because of the color of my skin.
Yeah.
You know, there's a security guard sitting up inside watching the cameras like, oh my God, there's a black person in the parking lot. Oh, Johnny, I need you. Johnny, you're on patrol of the parking lot. I need you to go over to the parking lot and make sure everything is all right.
And it's no different for black women.
No,
It's no different.
y'all fall into a whole nother category. Yeah. Anybody that's seen The Bad Lieutenant knows how that works.
Yeah. I mean, when I've been stopped by a cop, same feeling. Heart drops. You know, you don't know. Yeah. You don't want to show them that you're scared. If you show, it's like you don't know. You know what to do. You don't know how it's going to end up. Yeah, I mean, shoot, I've told you stories. I won't even stop. I'll just keep going.
Until you're in a safe area.
Until I'm in a safe area. And if you got a problem with it, then I'm sorry. Just write the ticket. Because you're going to write one anyway. Because, you know, you don't know what they're going to do. I mean, we were just, a year ago when I was in the store. And it was someone that was clearly an addict or, you know,
were of another color.
Yeah, and, you know, cop grabs me. And I'm like, what's going on? Right. He's not letting me go. I'm telling him, I don't have any. What are you doing? And he waited for the store owners to say, oh, it's not her. And he still didn't let me go right away.
Right. You know, this is, you know, part of the problem is we're always guilty until we prove ourselves innocent. And this is giving rise to the Karens, you know, because they understand this. They understand, hey, as long as I talk fast and loud enough and I say that this black person has actually made me feel threatened or unsafe. You know, we had Karens going up there taking packages from people saying, you get too many orders from Amazon. Well, you know, in the real world, Karen would have got, if you sit up there, I got to tussle with you to get my package that has my name on it, oh, somebody's getting slapped. Somebody's getting slapped, but see, that just makes it worse.
Yeah.
You know, because even though Karen is wrong for what she's doing, you know, when the officer of the law gets there, it becomes, oh, you know what, I'm just going to poo-poo this away.
Right.
You know, hey, miss, hey, let's break this up. Hey, Karen, you go your way, and wait, ma'am, sir, I have a few questions for you as to why you assaulted Karen. Why would you assault Karen? Well, because Karen was trying to steal something from you. You understand what I'm saying? You know, we've been on buses. We talked about this before, where this lady just jumped up out the blue because she couldn't see that she was sitting next to me asleep. I'm on my laptop trying to get it done. You know, I look up out the window to see where we're at. All of a sudden, I go back to what I'm doing. Hey, you better leave me alone. I look around the bar. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Then I look, this lady's staring right at me. And I thought, see, again, this is what it's like being black in America. You're not allowed to just act. Because your first instinct is to curse this crazy nincompoop out. That's your first response. Like, oh, somebody's getting cursed out today.
All right.
You know? But see, that makes it worse for you. So we always find ourselves where we have to double think what would be normal for the rest of the world.
Right. Or even just, you know, regular situations. You know, you're down on your luck.
Right.
If you're black, down on your luck means anything.
You're below the poverty line.
Right. Either, you know, it's a reason, drug addict, or, you know, you're just simply not good enough because you're black, versus someone else having the exact same situation.
Oh, they get help.
They get help.
There's a government program that they have a bed for them, but they won't have a bed for you.
Yeah.
It's sad because I've actually seen it happen. I remember the time you had to use the bathroom at a Target, okay, which actually has public restrooms for everyone. You can clearly tell this person just came from the bathroom, but the security guard is coddling this person, and oh, you all right, and this, that, and the other, and then you wait for a break in the conversation and say, excuse me, I'm pregnant, can I use the bathroom? You know, oh, our bathroom doesn't work. You know, it's like, okay, you don't look like you're on drugs. You're definitely pregnant. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, the distaste and the disdain that came out of this person's mouth, like, how dare you ask me to use the restroom that I just let this drug addict use?
Right. Right.
You know, I'm talking about still got the wet blood from the needle on his arm. You know, but yet and still, you know, we're different. Every time we go to New York, I tell you, I'm like, go ahead and use the bathroom where we can use the bathroom at, because what's going to happen is, you know, just from the color of our skin, you know, it's like there's a little tweak that somebody put up on TikTok. You know, if you're in New York City, you have to use the bathroom. Just go find a major hotel. Major hotels always have bathrooms in the lobby. However, I have found through the years that even though everybody else can traffic through and walk through the hotel, for some strange reason, I get stopped.
Wow.
You know, it's like, oh, do you have a room here? Are you here visiting someone? No, I'm going to the bathroom. You know, and it's like, people don't realize that it becomes frustrating, you know, when you have your kids with you. You know, like we brought up before, if you run into the cops, that's a scary situation, because if a cop gets caught doing something wrong, his career is more important than your life.
Right. Right.
Always remember that. That 40 to 60,000 that cop is making is definitely more important than your life. It's easier to sweep you under the rug and drop you off in some vacant lot than it is to do the right thing, knowing that, hey, I was wrong, I'm probably going to get fired for this. Right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, shoot, I tell you, being black in America, you have to tell your children at a very young age that a lot of people do not care about you. I tell, you know, a 9-year-old, she's whiny, you know, and I tell her, look, you got to stop, because once you get older, nobody cares. They're not looking at you as a young lady. They're not. They're even now. If we go out, no one ever. Trust me. They're the people that you look at, and you may look at me and say, "Mommy, why they look so mean? Or why they looking mean at me?" It's because you're black.
Right.
It's because you're a little black girl. That's why. It's no other reason behind it, and we're just not human to them.
Right. You know, this is the what, 3/4 human, or whatever that fraction was. You know, but yet and still, they take our accomplishments. They take what we do as far as entertainment and science and math. And, you know, new inventions and medicine. They gladly take these accomplishments that we create, but yet and still we go back to being second and third class citizens in this country. I'm going to get right back into this. I want to take a quick break. I want to hear from some of the people in the street, and then we're going to jump right back into this conversation that I think is long overdue. Being black in America. Sounds like a plan?
Yep.
All right, let's go.
Being black or brown in America, it's a different subject for me. Out of habit, I mean, if I'm getting pulled over nowadays, I'm scared, like, you know, like heart racing. I take my keys out, I have to put it on top of my car, or not, they're just looking at me some type of way with their hands on their hip or whatever. Just, it's a very nerve-wracking feeling when a white man got a gun on you and you're just sitting in a car, you know.
All right, here we are back at Real Talk 2.0 Monday edition. The conversation is definitely about being black in America or brown in America, because even though many races outside of blacks, African Americans, Negroes, whatever you choose to call yourself, you know, they get kind of a free pass because they're brainwashed to treat us the same way. You know, it seems like everything that we do is magnified. You know, you see someone get arrested for like a white collar crime. The picture in the paper shows them in their suit, their tie, everything else. We get arrested for anything, they're looking for a mugshot that may have happened 15, 20 years ago to put that in the newspaper or put that on the news broadcast because that sends a signal. See, we don't understand the science behind this whole subjugating and keeping us down. Whenever a black person gets in trouble, if there's a mugshot, they're going to use it.
Yeah.
The reason being is because they want the public to think this person is a criminal. This person is a criminal. That's it. Nothing else to it. When people go to court for crimes, be it bank robbery, murder, any capital crime, you know, the thing is, you know, if you're remanded to prison, you're going to come into court with your orange jumpsuit. That's just the way it works. How come when corporate America or white America gets accused of a crime, the picture's always taken with them sitting in their suit in the courtroom? Yeah. You know, it sends a message, it sends a powerful mental message like, hey, this person is a criminal, but this person over here might not be a criminal. You know, due diligence. You always hear the words allegedly, allegedly, allegedly. When it's us, was accused of the crime of. Was accused of the crime of. Nobody thinks to use allegedly. Nobody says, hey, they deserve a fair trial. Nobody says, hey, listen, we might be wrong, but, you know, the evidence seems to point to this person, but we're still interviewing other people.
Right.
You don't hear that for us.
Yeah.
You know, and this is a wake-up call for America. You know, we're not the step it and fetch it people anymore. You know, yeah, you enjoy us now on the football field. You love us when we're playing basketball. You know, as far as our brown people, you love it when we're playing baseball because when you take your children out to the stadium or the park, you're sitting there saying, yeah, this is a great day. I bonded with my child watching this game. You know, but yet and still you're talking trash about the players. You know, when you get home, you know, the nouns that come out of your mouth to describe people that are not of Caucasian descent are horrible. And you say this in the dinner table. Hey, honey, do you know what that nigger did to me at work today? Hey, honey, do you know that what that nigger said? Hey, honey, Johnny, you know, whenever you see a black person, don't believe what they say because they lie. That's what they do. It's in their DNA. You know, why would you think that the world will become different if these are the conversations that are going on behind closed doors? You know, when you look at the Trump situation, that was just pure racism. The man is cray-cray and guilty of so many different crimes. However, white America said, this is our chance. It didn't work out for Giuliani. Why do you think he pulled Giuliani to be on his team? Because Giuliani is just as racist as him.
Right.
You know, the stop and search laws never happened on the Upper East Side or on the Lower East Side. They happened in Harlem. They happened in Bed-Stuy. They happened in Jamaica, Queens. But hey, listen. They're not going to happen where, hey, these people are just going out here trying to get their money and add a new wing to their house and maybe even get a new car.
And, it, you know, it goes further. We talk about the police, you know, and law enforcement and stuff like that. But it's even, shoot, the hospitals. Hospitals, that's a scary situation to be in when you're black. Because you don't know. They can tell you what's going in the IV, but we don't know what's really going in the IV. You literally don't know when you're walking into a situation where they just need a subject to test.
Right.
You don't know.
Right.
And you know, and if you question, I mean, I've definitely been in a situation where I've questioned doctors and, you know, medical staff, and they give the sigh or the huff and puff or... You know.
Well, why the hell? What are you sighing for? Why do you think we don't trust you?
Yeah.
Why do you think that we don't trust you? Because you've given us too many examples to show us. Now, here's the deal. We can't trust law enforcement. We can't trust the medical field. We can't trust the education system. We can't trust the fire department. Oh, we remember the times where they would just sit down because you was a black person in a predominantly white neighborhood where they would just sit back and watch your house burn down. Okay? We can't trust banks. Well, how do you expect us to feel?
Yeah.
How do you expect us to feel? We just had the young lady, father gave her a check. She's an up-and-coming recording artist. Father gave her a check to help her get through rough times. She goes to the bank to cash it. They automatically, even though all it took was a phone call, all it took was to run the check through that little machine. I know this from working retail, to see if the funds were there. They locked the doors and accused her of fraud. This doesn't happen to white America. This never happens to white America. You know, the check might actually be fraudulent, but they're going to figure out reasons as to why you're not culpable for this. This is not your fault. Who wrote the check? We're going to get that person. Was it a black person? You know, and you know, the sad thing is we make it worse. We make it worse. We make it worse because we can't trust all these other entities, including the government, but we can't even trust our own neighbors. Because we've been brainwashed so much into the belief that every black person that is in your community is basically your enemy. They're trying to take something away from you. They're trying to get up in Mass's house. They're trying to leave you in the field. And the separation still continues to move forward. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you fine. Oh, you fine. I was just saying about the medical, you know, institutions. I mean, how many stories you hear of black people died, passed away in the waiting room because they refuse. You know, they're calling out for help and no one cares.
No one cares.
The staff doesn't care. It's rooms all back there. They could have took them back there. Even just triage. You know, you were saying about the black on black. I mean, don't even start on the black on black crime. We are more compassionate for everybody else, but for each other.
Oh, hell yes. We'll shoot each other down in a heartbeat, especially if you feel that the person you need to shoot down is getting ahead of you.
Right.
You know, they've left us nowhere to turn. You know, it's like playing Catch-22 or Double Jeopardy. It's like, okay, we sent you to jail to teach you a lesson. And we want you to come out reformed. And you know what? If it's a felony, you probably won't get a job. Come on. Or you won't get a job that you can survive off of. You know, so, hey, listen, I don't know what to tell you. But don't go out there and do it again. While they're sitting back, waiting for you to go out there and do it again. You know, it's like the Catch-22 with medicine. You know, nobody really signs up anymore for these medical tests unless they're like on death's bed. You know, so they need to test these things. You brought up medicine. How do you think teaching hospitals get the money to continue to move forward? Because usually teaching hospitals, they're gangbusters for taking Medicaid and Medicare and all that other stuff because the government's going to feed them and it's going to make sure everybody gets a paycheck. But with everything else, like we look at Facebook, we look at Google, you know, there's certain side deals going on. And remember, those records have to be uploaded to the CDC at the end of the day. So the CDC just doesn't want a bunch of records. They might want to throw a test here and there. They might want to test out a new medicine that they're banking on here and there. You know, the same thing happened in the 70s. I mentioned this before, but anybody that's watched Luke Cage, the show, or read the comic Luke Cage Power Man, his powers are based on prison experiments. And this happened in the 60s and the 70s because they needed people from Vietnam, okay, and they also needed to run these medical tests. The carrot at the end of the tunnel was, we'll take some years off your sentence. 9 times out of 10 it was based on, you're not going to survive this test. We just want to see what this does to you. You know, and they got their coat pulled on that. You know, and now they're telling us it doesn't go on anymore. Well, here's the deal. Me having somewhat of a scientific background, if you're running a test on people, okay, what do you need? You need to be able to always monitor those people. You need those people in basically the same place so that you have easy access to them. And you also need to know what they're eating, drinking, and ingesting. Now, what better place to do that than in a jail or a hospital? Because if you're at a hospital, if you're admitted, you're there. You are there. And yet and still, I watch politicians talking about things have changed. No, they haven't changed. They haven't changed. If my sons are grown, One has a bachelor's degree, one has a master's degree. I still worry about them. I still worry about them because there's always a chance that they're going to get that stop while they're driving to work or driving home from work, and maybe you've had a bad day. Now, I've definitely seen YouTube videos where people rip up the ticket and throw it in the cop's face, throw up the middle finger, and drive off. I can't do that. Unless I want a couple of extra holes in me. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You know, so who are these people? What gives them the right or the privilege, even though it should be everybody's privilege? You can literally roll up, tear up a ticket and throw it in the cop. You still got to pay it.
Right.
Now you don't know what the date is that you got to show up to pay it. But, you know, you can do that, and the cop is supposed to just basically say, you know, whatever, you still got to pay it and drive off and do what he's supposed to do.
Right.
I can't do that. That means that I'm going to get a billy club across my head. That means that they're going to call the dogs and search my car and probably plant something on it. Because their ego gets in the way, and how dare a black person speak to me this way?
Yep. Yeah, I've definitely done it before, but that's not what this is about.
I can't do it.
Well, you know, and it's funny because when I did it, it was a while ago. It was the early 2000s. And it's like, it's almost like they said, wait a minute, these black people are getting a little out of control. I'm not saying just over that.
But that's what they're saying.
Yeah, it's coming back now.
Yeah.
You know, within the past, 5 years or so, things started getting, you know, bad again. Well, it was always bad.
Because of Trump.
It was always bad, but I think Trump is just the figurehead.
He wanted to make America great again.
Yeah, I think Trump is just the figurehead, but I'm not going to say it's because of Trump. But they psychologically, you know, got to it let everybody put their sheets back on when they felt like, okay, if I take it off and that. Let's put the sheets back on, and I don't care what anybody. I'm gonna put it on and walk outside like that. You know. Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I'll say, you know what? The main problem with being black in America and the hardships that we have is because of how we treat each other.
Yes.
If we stuck together, like common sense should tell you to, then people would think twice. It's just like a family, siblings. If your siblings or you and your siblings are all at the park and you're getting along, and the troublemakers, you know, are somewhere and they're plotting, and they see it's about 7, 8 of you, they're going to think twice. Right. Versus they see, you know, the siblings talking about each other and fighting each other and acting like they don't really care. They just want to make the troublemaker, oh, well, let's pick on that one that the siblings are picking on anyway.
Right. No, you hit the nail right on the head.
But nobody, black people are hard.
So here's the deal, because I've actually seen this, and I just want to say this before I go to break. You know, if you don't realize the severity of not sticking together, and we're going to come back and talk about this, is I definitely, and many of you who have lived in hood environments, I grew up in Edgemere projects, I have definitely seen the cops go through the whole process of arresting somebody, and someone's just walking through the building, and the cop just says, "You, come over here." Now, you're just walking into the building. You've done nothing to bring attention to yourself. Okay? But what we're going to do is, while the person that I just arrested is sitting up here chained to the bench, you know, with his cuffs on, I'm going to go for a twofer. You know, hopefully when you come over here, I can pat you down and I can find something on you. You know, and that's illegal. That is illegal. I've never seen a cop go in Starbucks, order his coffee, and then turn around and say, "Hey, what are you doing over there?" Excuse me. Did I just hear you mention drugs? Oh, I got to go through your pocket. It never happens in those communities. But I can guarantee you it can happen in our communities. I've experienced it. I've just been outside of bodegas smoking a cigarette, and a cop has just walked up and said, "What are you doing here?" "Smoking a cigarette." "Oh, you're a smart ass." Well, when you walked up, what did you see me doing? You know, think about it. I'm getting upset. Anything else you want to add before we go to break?
No, not before break.
All right. We're going to go to break, and we're going to come right back. And hopefully, all the things that we try to do here at redmediaradio.com is hopefully we can find an actionable plan or solution so that the stress is not coming from all freaking sides. You know what I'm saying? All right, you ready?
Yep.
Let's go.
Hi, my name is Sammy Jameson. Being black in America is kind of hard and crucial out here trying to make it in this hard and crucial world. That's it.
All right. Here we are back at Real Talk 2.0 Monday edition. I had to take that break. I was getting upset, and then I watched the clip with the young man speaking. Got even more upset. This has to change. This definitely has to change. You know, we live in a society right now, being a black person, you know, where the war is just constant. You just don't know who the enemy is, or who the enemy can become, or who's going to be the enemy the next day. You know, in our communities, the brainwashing has reached epic proportions. You know, never be fooled in thinking that, you know, this is not brainwashing. We're taught this as children. I remember, you know, the early years of me going to school and being in first and second grade. The talk was, oh, you can be a teacher, or you can be a nurse, or you can be this, or you can be that. And nobody ever said you can own your own Fortune 500 company. You can be the president. You can be a senator. You know, all of those things that are, all those things that, you know, white America is told. Oh, you can become an astronaut. You can become this. You can become... The sky is the limit for you, Johnny. Sue, the sky is the limit for you, too. Don't worry about that women's equality thing, because you're more equal than a whole lot of other women.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. We allow ourselves to be put into these subsets. You know, light skin, dark skin, natural hair, wig, you know, processed hair. You make this. You know, and you make this. You drive this. You drive this. You live here. You live there. But at the end of the day, none of those things change how you came out your mama's hoo-ha. You're still a black person. You know, and for the most part, yeah, you know, white people can be backstabbers. I'm not going to lie, especially when it comes to business. But the difference is, they're going to wait till you get someplace before they start throwing monkey wrenches and banana peels all over the place. Us? Oh, we're not even going to wait. We're going to put a kibosh to it now. We're not even going to let you breathe and think about it. We're just going to put a kibosh to it now, because that's the mindset. That is the brainwashing. Hey, if you let him get any further, you're going to stay in the field, and he's going to be up in Master's house living the easy life. You know, hey, there's a whipping chain out there. This nigga in here drinking tea with crumpets. How does that work out? That's the separation. They did that on purpose. They did that on purpose, and they're doing it to this very day. You know, you'll find that when I was in the military, I even noticed it. I think I had just put on E4, and I was in a casual unit. And based on just the way I thought, you know, the company commander just felt like, hey, listen, I need you to run this stuff. He would give me a list of stuff. Need this stuff done by the end of the day. Not a problem. What happened was, within 2 weeks, everybody that was of a higher rank and just happened to be white started complaining about the fact that I was actually dictating what should be done. To which the company commander basically told them, he was like, listen, you have proven that you can't do this. He's proven that he can do it. Basically, he's like, I can't do this anymore because this is causing too much of a headache. But what it really was because 95% of that unit, that casual unit, was white. And they just couldn't take the fact that, hey, I was giving them tasks that they needed to do. And the quicker we got it done, the quicker we had downtime. My goal was to always get it done. It was scheduled to be done by 3 o'clock. I'd have it done by 1. You can go, you can sign out. If you don't have watch, go take your ass on. Go have fun. You know, now when because he basically told them, he was like, this is not him giving the orders. This is me giving the orders. He's just by proxy. You know, and they just didn't want to hear that. So it's just crazy. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Long story for nothing.
No. But that right there, the prime example. I feel like, you know, it's like beating a dead horse talking to, you know, the black community. It really is, because we're so hell bent on backstabbing and doing each other dirty that I don't know. Like, white Jesus have to come down in the beam of light and say stop.
He got to come down with Uzi and start shooting.
It probably,
Baby Jesus got to come down with the Mac.
Probably still wouldn't stop. I don't, you know. I don't know. I think the simple solution is we stick together.
Right.
We show the world, what we're made of.
Right.
And right now, all black people is doing, being black in America, is showing not only America, but the
Other
entire,
countries.
countries, the entire world, that y'all are a bunch of clowns.
Yep.
A bunch of
Thank you for the
clowns.
music.
Yep.
Yep. Basically.
Yep.
Basically. And then we look at, I think our celebrities need to, just like they did in the 60s, or athletes and celebrities, need to take a stand. And you know what? At the end of the day, we're always going to support your music. We're always going to support your career. But I think, there needs to be people more than just Red Media Radio. Yes, sometimes I get full of myself and I say, hey, listen, the message is getting out there. I'm doing something. I'm doing a big change. However, I can just go on social media and I can copy a post from a celebrity and just just copy the image that they put up. The celebrity will get 3, 4, 5K engagements on that post, where I might just get 1 or 2. It's the same post. It's the same thing.
Right.
It's the same thing. But with great power comes great responsibility. If you know that this is happening, if you know because you're in a position to speak to the masses, then speak to the masses.
Yeah.
Jay-Z did that documentary on Meek Mill. Because that brother was railroaded. And, he was railroaded where they were just changing the rules as they saw fit. And the system, where people was coming back to him saying, they can't do that. That's against the law for even them to do that.
Yeah.
You got judges saying, I need to be on your next album. The hell? That should have been thrown out of court immediately. But see, nobody wants to talk about that because they figure, hey, listen, it'll never happen to me. That's a black person problem.
Yeah.
I told you about the time in Albany with St. Patrick's Day. College kids acting crazy, jumping on cars, everything else. One black person got caught on tape on YouTube, jumping on somebody's car. The hell you doing at St. Patty's Day celebration anyway? Hey, that's a whole different subject. But everybody else except him got to go back to school.
Wow.
They made an example from him.
Yeah.
But for his white classmates, they couldn't see fit to ruin their academic careers.
Right.
But hey, listen, as far as we're concerned, you wasn't going to be nobody anyway. Go ahead and take this. And it was just community service, but he took the charge.
Right.
When you take the charge, there goes all the scholarships, there goes all the grant money. There, if you ain't got the correct grade point average, the school is just going to say, your problem. We can't have you here. So they ended his academic career to teach the rest of white America, like, see what happens, don't do this.
Right.
Instead of taking all of them, in fact, they all got tried separately.
Wow.
So for something that was pulled off of YouTube, they should have all been sitting in the courtroom together at the same time.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. I think what else being black in America is, one, realizing you're black.
Embracing it.
Embrace it, no matter how many friends of different. Because I think that's another problem with us as a people. We tend to think we're better than each other if we have a Caucasian friend,
right,
or an Indian friend, or
why can't they just
Asian,
be friends?
Yeah, or an
if
Asian.
We so past this,
right, or an Asian friend. But what I'm saying is, we think we're better than our own because we mingle and mix with. But guess what? You don't know what those people that you don't know what their family is saying.
Right.
Their family could be saying, "Why you hang out with that, black girl or that nigger or whatever?" You don't know. You don't know. Your life may not be as valuable to them as their life is to you. You could be looking at them as, "Oh, that's my friend. I'm being genuine," because black people, we have good hearts. Not saying that nobody else has good hearts, but God knows we put up with a lot.
Right.
They may not be looking at you the same. So why would you do your own kind wrong?
Yep.
To prove a point to make you feel like you're better than somebody else.
Yeah, to somebody else. That is the problem in a nutshell. That whole validation seeking that I am better than the rest of the people that I come. I've never seen a roach look at another roach and say, "Hey, I'm better than you." I'm better than you. Look, I eat more. I've never seen a cat look at another cat and say, "I'm better than you." Or a dog. They bark at each other, but a dog doesn't sit there and say, "Yo, I'm better than you." Look at you living in the streets, eating out of garbage cans. I get puppy chow, son. But that's what we do. that's what we do, you know. And we've got to find a way to actually combine forces and come together, because what will happen is, you know, cops will stop coming through our communities with this attitude.
Yeah.
You know, because they and there are communities that actually do stand together, and cops actually leave them the hell alone. Because, you know, it's like, hey, these people actually make money. They can hire a decent attorney.
Yeah.
Let me chill.
Yeah.
Let me chill. I'm just going to go up the road to where JoJo and Bobo live, and they always fighting and shooting at each other anyway. So, hey, I can target them.
Yeah.
You know, when you have these town conferences, and I'm going to start doing this in the town that I live in, because I think it's ridiculous where cops, I've been eyed down and glared at because cops don't know me. I'm not from out here. You know, I have cops looking at me because they automatically assume, hey, if you're black and you live here, you must have a record. How come I don't know you? You know, I think we need to start going to these town hall meetings and letting our feelings be known. You know, hey, if you don't want to put your face forward with it, send a letter to your district leader or your ward leader or your mayor, and, you know, maybe start a petition amongst your friends. You know, but we've got to start someplace.
Yeah.
Because y'all not taking part in that not spending money for a whole day thing. Y'all either spend up a whole bunch of money the day before or the day after, which makes it even out.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
even crazier.
Yeah, it's like, I got to go get those. What, those Air Force Ones just came out? The hell, I'm spending that money. You know, we have to look at the bigger picture, not for ourselves, but for our children, because I know as parents, if you're listening, you still have that fear when your child does not return home at the appointed time. Your heart drops.
Yeah.
You know, because if it's a male child, it drops even more. If it's a female child, it drops even more. You don't know what's going on. You can't see through walls. You're not a superhero. And you're just hoping that, hey, I hope a cop didn't run into them and, you know, do something out of anger or out of jealousy. Because a lot of this hate and prejudice and all this, it actually comes from jealousy.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the world actually moves to the beat of our drum. I can't say it any other way.
Yeah.
You know, they've taken rap music, they've taken control of it, they got rid of all the public enemies and everybody. Common, you know, I'm glad he's got a movie career because he keeps on spilling that positive context. They coming after him too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, white America doesn't want, they want the drill music. They want the shoot 'em up music. They want the, hey, slap that chick up in the face if she don't give you no music. They want that. Because it's all part of the brainwashing process. And that's why, even though they didn't want to give hip-hop the light that it deserved back then, they said, hey, listen, we can make this part of our agenda.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. What did Paul Mooney said? Everybody want to be a nigger, but everybody somehow
But nobody wants to come.
Nobody wants to be a nigger.
Yep.
Yeah. Those and I'm not, you know, but those are the ones I watch out for.
Yeah.
The ones that are not black but acting pro-black is like, that right there is more.
It's the mindset.
Yeah,
it's the mindset. You still trying to get up in Master's house. You know. With that being said, I definitely want your feedback. We're actually doing more edgier stuff. I want to actually give a shout out to my first book that I ever wrote, The Ghetto Survival Guide for Blacks and Latinos. I wrote that over 12 years ago. A couple of things have changed, but for the most part, the book still holds true. I think I'll put this up in the links when it becomes the podcast so people can go ahead and take a look at that book. But this is the way that I felt for most of my life. We don't get a fair shake, you know, and I don't care what they say on the news. We're definitely not getting a fair shake, you know. Hey, you got anything else you need to add?
Nope.
All right. With that being said, you already know I'm Red.
And I'm Latif.
And you've been watching Real Talk 2.0 Monday edition. Stay tuned. Friday, we will have the podcast where you can actually see the people that actually added on to this. All right? You already know. Love you guys.
So my experiences on being black in America is, it's bad most of the times, but like I try to make good out of situations. And I just play like everything kind of smart, and I just do me.